Let's go live. We are live.
Good afternoon.
Good
evening.
afternoon.
Good
Happy
morning.
Friday, everyone. Good morning. Good afternoon.
Welcome,
Good
Higher
evening.
Heart. Thank you for all your blessings
Higher Heart
and
is
light
here.
and
You
good.
are so precious, Higher Heart. We love you so much. Thank you for your beautiful messages always.
Always blessed for you tuning in and sharing your grace, lighting up all the way from the Middle East.
Where are you, Higher Heart?
In Lebanon.
Wow.
I want to say, please let me know.
Let
Higher
us
Heart,
know.
I want to say the Middle East.
Today we have a full pot here. And look, so this is the cup of one of the most beautiful Hopi artists. I met him in the, did I even tell you this? I met him at the Hopi Festival, Art Festival in Arizona. And so, Michael, that painting we have in our bedroom, he's also the artist in this.
Okay.
So I had to have, and this is the story of creation according to his grandparents that was passed on to him that he painted here. Isn't this incredible? This is the story of their Kachina. So anyway, that's here. And Michael has a hand painted.
This was rewarded. We found this, and it's beautiful to see long artistic treasure being placed in areas where we could bring it to our families. So these look like, I would say, almost like red cardinals, but the blue.
This is so cute.
It's beautiful. It's a nice little collection.
So maybe you can pour it in here. And you know, the only other thing I forgot to write. So today it's been a little busy here. We've had maintenance
We've had
here
cleansing,
before.
we've had fall cleanup. We had our beautiful maintenance guys come in, replacing shower heads, replacing temperature gauge. It's been nice to go through this equinox energy and allow ourselves to fully embrace all the newness as we plant our roots and our seeds for all the wonderful energies that are coming this way. So
happy fall, everyone.
Happy fall. Moringa latte.
Oh,
that
nice.
Sounds delicious, Higher Heart. Wow.
Bless
Moringa
you.
latte. I love moringa. When I was in Bali, I was.
I'm going to reach for your microphone.
I was actually on an island, and I met this beautiful elderly woman, and she would take the moringa leaves and place it into her eggs. She would make a tea out of it.
Oh,
and
it's beautiful.
And it's amazing how when you look at moringa, you look at turmeric, you look at ashwagandha, you look at noni. There's such powerful herbs that you can bring into your morning. And moringa, however you pronounce it, is I feel like is one of the just super holy herbs that really bring in a lot of life force energy. So beautiful to see a moringa latte. I've never heard of that before, but sounds
good.
Tasty.
So those of you who are here, please introduce yourself. Let us know what city, country you're joining us from, where we're just sitting back, relaxing, having some tea. Today we have African red rose, and we can share what's been taking place as we're very grateful that we were able to switch just from last week to this week, just based on everything that's taken place that we bring you up to speed with. And just to have this time, I always appreciate this time where, again, it's really around the consciousness of my grandmother. You want to talk, grab the tea, sit down, relax, put your feet up. Wish we could put our feet up and just, sit down, especially on a Friday. Friday is considered a very holy day in the Middle East.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. And then so we get to just really sit in this place, have some tea and talk. Because when we bring that heart-to-heart energy, a lot is just transformed and transmuted in that place. And of course, we've had very intense frequency. So let's see, from 9/9, we talked after. When were we, Michael? I don't even remember.
So I want to say it's been almost a month since we.
No.
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
It's been 3 weeks. So I don't think we were
Let's start from here. We go backward and we catch up with all of you. You can share with us. How's that?
Yeah.
So I made a post that hardly slept last night. So last night, each time I would put my head from one side of the pillow or the other side towards Michael, there was this invocation that was running through my head constantly. In the name of the beloved, that I am, that you would have been, it kept running and running. And I felt like my head socket was connected to some kind of something that was blasting lights, and I felt like my brain waves never actually got to theta brain waves at all. So of course Michael usually wants to say that, oh, he didn't sleep because I tossed and turned.
I slept.
You slept.
I slept, but there's a usual pattern when Honey sleeps. She turns into this tossing tumbleweed that sometimes moves back and forth, back and forth. And it's always interesting to see those nights that I sleep deeply and those nights that I wake up. And it's just interesting. The past couple nights I've slept, but it's just like, when you wake up multiple times at night and you go back to bed, wake up, go back to bed. So there's all these intervals of sleeping. So it's nice to hear what is happening in this field, because energetically, you really imagine what is in our field. When you think of how much our energy projects 9 feet, and then when you get to, go to bed with this galactic goddess that sometimes has all these downloads, all these energetic levels, there's so much happening on the higher plane. So it's an interesting, beautiful way to see what goes through Honey. So the next day I can just kind of like pat myself on the shoulder, like, okay, I'm not getting that old where I can't sleep at night, or something's happening. There's usually a lot
He's
of
not getting
activations.
upset anymore, which is good. I woke up with my eyes burning 6:30, and of course it's really that, yet wired as if I could run a full marathon. And towards the morning, I finally had a little dream, and of course, again, it was another battlefield. I was inside. What is that? That flight? What you said? The Maverick or war airplanes, and
fighter jet.
I got in there to sacrifice myself to help another, and it was crazy, and they were shooting at us. There's a lot of those.
It's another normal
night. But I wanted to tell you this. So last night, I couldn't tell if God was downloading these invocations, the decrees, or it was just running in my head, and a lot of it had to do with Saint Germain. So it was running and running, and so of course this morning I made a post that, whoa, like holy shizzle, another one, just 2 a.m. And it was amazing the amount of people that responded right about that 2 a.m. They were woken, they just could not sleep, they tossed and turned, they're like, what is going on? And it seems like another day for us on Earth, again being blasted and again. But last night I feel like one of the reasons why I was more in an excited energy. So yesterday we had my mother's doctor's appointment. I won't get into the details of it. So I'm going to share a little bit about this because it ties into what happened the last couple of weeks. It's been a
tumultuous,
incredible journey. God has blessed that with an incredible journey of this Monday would be 3 weeks where my mom went to ICU and everything that has come out of it. And, whenever you have any of your loved ones experience during this time going to the hospital, there is a range of things that you're facing. It's not on a normal circumstance you're facing a lot, but during this time with the extreme measures, you're facing so much extra encounters, and yet when you step back to see are all these encounters there to just stress you out, or they're also part of your own evolution and ascension, which we know it is. It's very annoying going through it, but you can't escape it. You're faced with it. So we'll talk about that more in a minute. But last night, after seeing this particular surgeon, which we've been waiting to see because we just needed to see this person for mom, he was highly recommended. I can't say how grateful I was to how kind and loving this surgeon was. How just what a beautiful heart he had. And I was just praying and waiting. I woke up in the morning, put the prayers around it, and I was just waiting for him to remind my mother she's the decision maker. And that's exactly what he said. He's like, listen, I see this has to be done, but I can't do it for you. You have to decide, and I'll do whatever you want. You have to decide, but this is my recommendation. So after he said that, I had this like boom spark in my eyes and waited till, with mom drove home. Mom and Michael talked to each other. Michael has held such an incredible place with my mom with support, just constantly support, very compassionate, very loving,
healing and
and
acupuncture,
very healing and acupuncture, and I mean all of that.
The pieces that can help support someone that's going through a major transformation. And it's been beautiful to see how open she is in this age to really hear and listen to the suggestions, obviously, that I provide to open another path, another area that can be illuminated upon her, just to give her the permission to let go of old patterns and old areas by being simple.
But communicate full back. So let me share this part and then come to the part that you're really helping and how valuable that is for our parents who are more like they're more recently awakening, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was so interesting. So last night when we came back, I dropped mom off, and Michael and I went for a walk and just to rebalance. I had this spark inside of me. I was like, oh my God, I have been waiting for a long time, so that my mom can finally, she's in this place, she's like a sponge. She's so open. With January, her heart, having the accident where her heart was activated, her sternum was, crushed or whatever. Now it's her head. And so it's so incredible what's happening with her. And I felt this jolting energy that, oh my goodness, finally. She's always been very scared of the healing work that I do. She respects it, but a little bit scared. But now she's very open. And I felt fine. And she has a very strong connection with God, the Creator. So I said, finally, now that she heard what this particular surgeon has to say, now let's give the full power in her hand. And I was like, my sleeves rolled up. Here we go. I am going to just bedazzle mom with her power of God inside of her and what she is capable of. So I'm so excited today. After this, we're going to go over there. But that sparkling energy and the invocations and the decrees that I want to invite her, because she's very open. I feel that brought a lot of exciting energy. You saw me. I was like, and it was beautiful because the last several days has been so exhausting for me. And I'll share this to Michael, you catch up, because I've been going through so much of my own triggers that have surfaced, that has to do with family, that has to do with the culture, that has to do with some of the dynamic, that has to do with just a lot of sadness. And I was able to then again cry it out, and just the irritability that I felt for a few days, and also the other part, that these are the things that had been brought to the surface. Like many of us, we see things 50 steps ahead. Out of love, we come tell our family members, but because we usually consider the black sheep, when we bring it out, they're not receptive to us. They're not inviting, and if anything, the door might be very closed. And then you bring it again, then it's closed. You bring it again, and finally, then there's something like major has taken place, where now suddenly they actually want to hear what you have to say. And after all these years, they're actually appreciative. Like, and you as the person, you're happy for that, but like, it's like, it's not you don't care, but it's like, like all these years, and then here's the moment. But
And I
what's
feel
coming up is the tiredness. So there's more into this, but I'm going to hand it over to Michael because I can't express, Michael, the role you've played, because I, like I'm dealing with so many layers within this situation, and the role you play with calming her system and how she's responsive to it is incredible, because some of our other family here may be going through this with their family, and it's incredible to be able to juggle it, compassion, but also hold this space as we go through it.
I feel what Honey has been expressing is there's always going to, not always, there's an amazing time when there's this extreme opening. And in that opening, it's almost like you want to jump on that and take advantage of that, because there are many of our parents and many old paradigms and programs that are so fixed and structured in the old ways, which is nothing wrong or right, good or bad. Yet when something opens your eyes due to some extreme health event, something on the environmental, something that's happening right now, it really shifts us into a whole new paradigm of how we choose to live. And what I find, it's been such a blessing for both Honey and I, because we've been piggybacking each other our past 4 years of whether it's been my father, my grandmother, her mother, her children, that we've always been there to help support family. No matter how closed a family member may be, no matter how rigid or stuck in their old programs and patterns, there's such a special opportunity to see when this opening, this catalyst, this change happens, how to compassionately, full of love, full of light, and just full of nourishment to help one see in their own eyes of what's before them, by lightly, gently giving the opportunity to open the door a little larger so they can maybe see a greater expansion within themselves versus a limitation that they've been practicing for so long, especially when they're in a vulnerable situation. Because when they're in that vulnerable situation, sometimes they may feel a little weak or ungrounded. So any way we can meet our relatives in that position, meet loved ones, which we first always hold that faith, belief, and just pure unconditional love to be there in our highest presence. And once we are in that presence, then it's like we allow ourselves to open the door a little larger to say, what do you feel about this opportunity, so that you can take the power within you and expand that. And I find what's been so magical with Honey's mom is back in January, when she had a car accident and she broke her sternum. And now when there was an incident, it's been amazing when you are ready to not only open the door, but really listen. And I told her the other day, when you can really listen beyond just listening from the ears, listening to what the universe is saying, listening to each action, listening to our emotions, listening to our thoughts, and stepping back even further and really observing and witnessing as we listen what is being brought forward to us. Because I feel like the art of listening is a veil. And when you go through that veil, then there's this whole deeper level where you're just watching and becoming more aware of the messages that are coming forward. And what's been a blessing is, as Honey and I have shared the power of divine, the power of a God that's already within all of us, and to roll that out in ways which we can invite that in our daily prayers, our daily messages, more specifically for dear Fedi June, invite that in a way that you are the medicine within yourself to bring that healing, and just the nature of how you choose to believe, to think, and to move forward in your day. And I really believe this has given her the opportunity to reset and recalibrate what is moving through her right now. Because for me, I feel I'm just honored and very appreciative to be in a position where she can have someone that could really just hear her and hold her in a high state of love.
Yeah.
And that love, to me, has just been gracious, because love is the healing energy that all of us want when we're in a state of healing.
And I do have to share this. So there's that space. There's so many There's so many layers happening within this, and I'm going to give a little bit of just a couple of things around this. When one of our family members or our children or our spouse or partner or whatever has so-called an incident, however way that is also part of our ascension journey. That is also part of our planetary ascension. It's not in separation of it, because every encounter, doesn't matter how it is, doesn't matter how it is presented, is part of how we are able to bring our crystalline light into the situation and be able to see it from the higher lens, be able to digest it, be able to process it, be able to transmute whatever surface. And usually when there's an incident, there's multiple things that surface up, and especially in this situation where there is again this extreme measures placed where you cannot like see your family member, you're separated, then there's a whole nother thing. And I could really see the perfection in it. So just when we got this Monday would be 3 weeks when we first got the call, the very first thing, it was interesting because we had done the launch of our Sacred Divine Union Raw and Real interview series with Robin and Vaughn. And as soon as we hung up, we got the call. So then, of course, is that shock in the system. But the very first thing Michael and I did, we lit a candle and we went straight into prayer. And we called then the whole team. And it was very important not to drop into insecurity or anything like that, or the vulnerability, but stay very clear.
And how the power of prayer opportunity to dismantle what many would do when a very high impact emotional state is coming before us.
Yeah.
And I appreciate, thank you, Beverly, for that comment. In our highest sensitivity, especially as healers, there can be this jumping of like, what can we do? How can we act? And before that is even done, is to go directly into prayer, to ground and to bring in all of our angels, all of our guides, our full team above, so that we can allow that team, our both combined teams, to then place that out into her field, knowing that right now we're in that sensitive field of, unfortunately, that C word, that no one can be placed in a hospital, no one can visit. So it's like...
So I feel like facing that vulnerability was very interesting, but we didn't even go there. It was that just observing it. And when Michael and I sat and prayed with so much authority, we called in the higher help to be placed even around us, our family, and especially my mother at the hospital. Really called the angels, because we were told we can't even go see her. And by the time to try to even find her, to talk to her, took a long time, then try to figure out what took place. So it can really rattle you. Yet, however, the point of this is why I'm sharing it's part of the personal planetary ascension, is because you are being presented the opportunity to access your higher dimension of self and bring it into this plane, and to not go anywhere else, stay right here and bring that sacred flame so it can guide everything around you and your action, your choices and steps, because within that, then everything else is surfacing that is of, for example, concern, worry, what happened, what could happen, this, that, and just and also judgment, try to figure things out, and also meeting with the, let's say, the medical authority that wants to go right away to surgery. We're like, no way, and then just try to find a communication with my other sibling on the other side. So again, like, there's a lot coming up, but when you go into that prayer, when you really call it in, you're able to handle it with so much more of a truly ascended awareness. And there's a grace, and holy heavens, the amount of dark we faced and the amount of triggers. And I give myself an A plus plus, maybe not A plus plus plus, but I definitely would give it A plus plus. I really passed another Ascension test initiation, and I felt our sacred friend, just as we talked, went through another Ascension truly initiation again with everything that came up, and it was good. But then finally it was like as if 10 days, right, 10 11 days, I had to put everything, myself, my emotions, my mental state, everything just literally in a bubble on the side, so I can just be on like a light on adrenaline and handling everything, until finally I felt this week exhaustion and just trying to try to then go through my own, which you also this past weekend had to find your own space with it.
And I feel what's so important for everyone to remember is how we can truly ground in that state of when something comes to shake us. Even like when this event happened, the prayer not only helped ground us, but it helped bring forth so much light. Because what I'm very grateful for Honey in her openness is she immediately placed a post on social media that went out to hundreds of people to anchor their light. And it's this really important, powerful energy to recognize is sometimes there can be individuals, which is okay to be private. It's okay maybe not to say anything, and it's their journey. At the same time, when we open the space up to prayer, when we give the permission to share, and again, it's not every detail, it's just the ability to give the permission to say, how can we bring as much light and love into this and then place it into the higher ground? And even before we left, what I thought was great, because a lot of times you've heard that story of like running out into the snowstorm naked to go save someone because they're out there stuck, is we have to ground first. So even that small moment of saying,
the mother in me came out, Michael, let's eat, then we go.
Let's eat food. Let's make sure we're grounded. And let's also come at a stage where we really have to become aware of our emotional body, because our emotions sometimes get pulled so hard that it's our test, and it's also our way of evolving through our ascension to see how we can keep our emotions without the information, without seeing, and just keep trusting, keep believing that there is a higher blessing and a higher gift through what's moving through. And as those events have been moving through, to also see what it's been doing within each of our family members, how it's been opening up new doors. And really, for a lot of us, it's an awakening. You know, when this happens, what shifts and changes, because life can be so fragile. One day you can look at like that, all of life can change. And I always remember this one, this beautiful master statement that said, what would you do? How would you handle the day if today was the first day of your life and the last day of your life? How would you take this day onward in your gratitude, in your grace, and in your love for what you would hold, versus maybe just getting through the day due to the densities outside? What can be done? And this experience, I feel, reminds all of us is the fragility of life, of what can we do each day to really honor our dear loved ones, honor ourselves, honor this planet, honor everything, because truly, as much as we are in our spiritual journeys, we don't know when that day will come when we ascend to our next life. And so this moment, I felt, brought our family closer together, but really stopped us for a while and really gave us that permission to step back and really fine-tune and refine a lot of the things that were kind of placed in the darkness because we were just dealing with what we had to do on a daily basis. And now putting more light is when situations like this arise, how can we bring more love? How can we bring more light? How can we let go of judgment and let go of what we
And
see
also
in a day-to-day?
but facing it all too. So again, we're sharing this with you. Like my mother is an example of this, but she doesn't like this stuff being discussed. So there's no detailed. And again, like the power of that prayer, as soon as this happened, I just made a post. Can we please pray for my mother? She went to ICU. That's it. No other detail. But the level of blasting energy that came was remarkable. This is the greatest gift we can give each other, not for little things, but like when a major thing come in, call, ask for the prayer, ask for the greater support, because this greater support can come through many individuals and pull this energetic field of light together, and it really blesses everyone. Like the amount of people, 200 plus people comment, and they're holding light, they light a candle for pray for my mom, and the prayers always answers. And on the other side of it, I want to share with you a couple of funny things around this. So while Michael and I try to juggle, figure things out, all of this,
Shift everything around.
Well, shift everything. That's another part. Then when you're dealing with sort of a crisis, you have to let go a lot. And literally, I'm so grateful to her. She was very flexible with the appointment change and to recognize, look, I'm in a different consciousness right now. The other things that I can attain to, I cannot right now. So that's also from a place of love. I feel like as healers, we have tremendous responsibility. I'm definitely one. The minute I'm not right, I'm not 100%. Absolutely, I will not facilitate healing for anybody else. I got to be 100% aligned, grounded, because the frequency that comes in, I'm able to not hurt myself, not hurt others. It's so powerful. And I feel that's also part of a discipline. Unfortunately, many healers, when they're not feeling good, unfortunately, they still go into a session where I just feel that you really need to look into that, because you're not going to be the greatest instrument. And that's just not fair to a client. Be in your total alignment and go in. So the frequency streams through you properly. But we were able to really shift everything around. So a couple of funny things. So during this time, there was a vulnerability in me. Oh my goodness, how would mom handle this? She's by herself. So because of the prayer, mom was a kick-ass. She gave the hospital staff hell in many ways by standing up in her authority, questioning every medication they were giving her, questioning what we're putting on her, questioning, no, you cannot, I don't know what that is. And of course, using my name. No, my daughter said, don't do this. My daughter said, don't do this. My daughter. I mean, they all knew by a few days who the daughter was. I'm like, oh my God. Or she keeps saying, my sister said, don't ever take a medication that I haven't seen the label. Don't do this. So we're starting to learn what she did at the hospital. And I could not have been more proud, because again, some of the vulnerability we have, I feel these past several months, the way we have been able to spend the time with mom, giving her power to her, she was then put in a position to truly exercise her divine voice and authority and commanding, no, bring me the hospital manager. You're not going to put that into me until I know what that is. You've put too many things into me. I want to know. And that is also part of all of us standing in the voice of our authority. We're not just going to have people do things to us. Like, where are we going to use truly our discernment? Discernment is when it has to, you look at the material and you have to put it into action. That is discernment, So that was, we had so much laughter about it. And of course, mom, just a little background. My mom she is a warrior. The woman is badass. What she's been able to, God bless her, what she's been able to
communicate through her actions.
What she's been able to do in this incarnation is just much respect, really much respect.
And I feel what it's a testament to, and we spoke about this yesterday, is no matter where we are in what situation, whether it's a hospital, whether it's the police, whether it's our normal day-to-day, is to really start to become aware of our civil rights and our liberties. Stepping back and saying, what is it within my choice that I can make without what we sometimes do is give our power away to those that we call, those that are wearing white lab coats, those that we see as doctors, those that we see as authorities, that of course they're here to help us, but also honoring, do I have a choice? Do I have a freedom to say, no, I don't want to have this exam. No, I don't want to have this right now, because for my higher self, I want to be conscious, I want to be aware, and I want to make the decision not only with it's myself, but my family is all around. And I find that the more we can start to really see, where is my liberty in my divine sovereignty that I can act upon on my choice versus someone telling you this in the old paradigm that so many people have followed because they've just given that away. And now to stand forward and say, I do have a right. I do have a freedom. And more important, what can I do to stand even higher? Because that builds the strength, that builds the confidence, that builds our own ability to say, okay, X, Y, and Z has happened. Here are all the choices, but we have to now stand back and say, what do I feel? Because yesterday, what I thought was so powerful is when you can be in the presence of someone that is saying, okay, I'm here to present what's happening. But ultimately, it's your choice to decide if you want to go forward. This is a
surgeon saying, well, in this situation, surgery is the answer, according to him. But I'm going to honor you, what you want. Right. And that was incredible. So because the part that I want to share, we as Ascension pioneers, we are ascending into our kristos light, into our I am. Our I am is literally, we're ascending to our I am, so that our I am is governing. I am is coming through our Christ beingness, and that beingness is coming through our outer vehicle or expression. So there is that divine sovereignty, which it brings the liberation, as Michael spoke about. Within this also is the divine laws, the divine government, the divine virtues, the divine prosperity, the divine inheritance, all of that. So that it ties into that. And as we are breathing into it, we are embracing it, we are tuning to it. What is happening is that in our outer reality, we are experiencing the, say, contrast, in which gives us the ability to exercise these divine principles. So the divine principles that are governed by the laws of divine are not changeable. They're set by the universal law. So the man-made law are really not part of our divine good at all, because they're part of a slavery programming and all that. That's why the divine director has specific decree. I posted it on my wall regarding this particular decree, how to bring it in. And I feel any of us that are working with decree, we're creating that pulse and field, then we're giving the opportunity to put into action. But what is amazing is that those of us who our closest one to us are also impacted by the power of these decrees. So it's a very interesting space, multidimensional, yet you still do experience the irritations that come on. Like I really went through that a couple of days, like the irritation, the frustration, the things, and that's also part of me washing it, and like how the voice wasn't heard before, like how I'm usually, I bring this up way ahead as a preventative measure, but then I'm not heard, and then shit hits the fan. So then suddenly, like, all the labor falls on my shoulder, and how frustrating that feels. And then also having the voice to express it. But I feel in this case now, they suddenly see, like, okay, she's onto something. But one of the things that's interesting, was it 3 months ago, Michael? 3 months ago, I kept telling Michael, I see something 9:15. I can't tell 9:14, 9:15, something's happening, 9:15, something's happening. I can't. And this usually he knows 2 months ahead. I see something, I hear it. I don't know how it's going to play out. And I'm going to turn this back on for a second too. So we have like a couple of these for Instagram. And so I kept hearing 9:15, something is happening. But again, I had no idea. Just like coming into 2020, 2 months ahead, I kept hearing it's going to be tumultuous. It's going to be tumultuous. I had no idea it would play out like COVID. And so then we have this one. But it's also happened to be this part of 9, happened to be part of the completion energy, happened to be the work that you and I did on 9-9, which I didn't even know we talked about it. That was so powerful because it allowed the space to then between this to go into the fall equinox with a new template. And that template that was able to bring the sacred divine feminine, sacred divine masculine inside in its action steps, applied in action, in the embodiment, to then hone this energy for the next 3 months till winter solstice, because it's harvesting everything that we experienced these past few months during the summer, so that we can then put it into the actual embodiment. And I feel like you and I literally got thrown into the test, like this.
It's almost
like this.
It was powerful because in what you knew was coming, it was allowing you to trust your intuition and feel the magnificence of the extraordinary events that came, so that we could be as grounded as possible, but most important, present. We chose to stay here and be in this area, even amongst the restrictions, is to be in the presence, to honor and to feel what was coming through you, but also kind of be in that sense of awareness. And that awareness, I feel, has given us almost that extra sixth sense to say, okay, what is it that's before us? How can we take each day and just kind of have our antennas open a little more on a high frequency? And what I felt what 9-9 did, and what I felt since the beginning of the summer, is to keep our vibration, our frequency, as high as possible. And knowing that what we're moving through, the higher that we're able to radiate from that joy, that love, that peace, that compassion within our individual field, within our divine union, allowed us to navigate so smoothly in what we were surprised to receive from her mother 10 days ago. And that has been, I feel, the ultimate blessing for all of us, because taking that moment to really step back and honor what I learned from Honey is just to trust what is coming through our fields and to listen to what's happening within here versus maybe our external field, and not give any validation of, okay, what's going on in the collective, in what's moving through our transformation, what's happening right here in my heart.
And listening, and really listening, literally what Source wants me to do in this moment. Literally, not my will. So one of the decrees that I do quite a bit is Amoria's decree: not my will, not my will, not my way, but thy will be done. So thy will be done. That's the one, like the divine will from Amoria's. Like that's, I really call that in. So my human consciousness has limitation. I'm aware of it, but let me access the higher so I can see greater. I can really see, navigate. And I'm one that doesn't, I love Lisa. Lisa, she's so precious. She always says, feel free to reach out, talk things through, but I'm not one to at all talk to anybody else when I'm going through this, because it's my journey. With Michael, I do get a chance to communicate with him. I find it's so important that I go through whatever I'm experiencing in that, and not go talk to others about it, because there are gifts in it that I must first face, see, open. And once I know what the presents are, when the wisdom has been pardoned upon me or bestowed upon me, then that language becomes the the communication that is to be brought out to assist others. So that's why I don't engage in ever whatever I face. I just don't sit down and talk about what I'm going through. And then I have found also my way, like also showed Michael, if Michael's not free with Michael, you go take care of it, and then we'll see each other. I have to go take care of it. So we each have our own individual responsibility to find what is our best medicine to go through facing the emotion, facing the mental plane, facing and voicing it. And there are times I tell Michael, I just need acupuncture right now. That's the part that I need your help with, because I gotta then deal with this. So
and it's beautiful because in that open expression, which Honey openly shares with me, it's that healing nature that every time something big happens, a lot of it brings up an emotional charge. And as soon as that emotional mental charge, well, it's funny because the mental charge, there's a lot of stress or worry, and then there's emotional right behind it of anger. But underneath that, once that sadness and once that root is, and usually it comes from maybe a feeling of like there is just an old energy that's being cleared. As soon as that sadness is being dissolved and transformed, there's so much light and space that's open. And it was funny because the other day I was driving your mom, and she's like, Michael, why when I'm with you, I just feel this natural peace. I feel this natural level of just comfort. And I said, well, because part of it is each day I was expressing to her, Honey and I wake up, and our duty is to meet the divine first thing in the morning. And we want to hold that cultivation of when we meet the divine in our half an hour, hour and a half, however time we can, dedicate, we emanate and embody that so that in our day-to-day actions, we can just be present with it. And that presence for her can really be felt, because for me, I didn't really have an answer too quickly. I just said, this is my nature, because I want to be at peace. I want
did
to
you
be
hear
at
what
presence.
she said today? She said, she called quickly. I was like, I'll talk to you later. She's like, Honey, I did a very long prayer meditation today. It was so good. Because she had asked, she's like, how long do you do it? I'm like, good hour. She's like, wow. So and she's an achiever, Oh my goodness.
Well, it's good because she's open now to receive. And even yesterday before Honey, it's funny when Honey says something, each of us are kind of like thinking, like the excitement she had yesterday. I was like, wow, I was just imagining that the day before. And this morning we were talking about what type of program we could give to her. And the other day I was thinking, what can we do?
To navigate the energy from the past or the problem or the worries. Okay, so the energy has to be invested somewhere. So Michael was saying, put a program. We're like, okay, we're gonna give her all these activities that now she can like run with it.
And if you can imagine, when something life-threatening happens to us and we reset, how many cool gifts do we have, from our affirmations to our invocations to our guided journeys to our sound meditation to our healings to our prayers. Individually, it actually gives all of us this, it's almost like this stirring of the pot of saying, wow, what can we contribute to her? But also step back and say, how can we bring that into our own daily life? Because there's so many gifts that we have within us that we can utilize. And a lot of times we jump forward to help many other people, yet how can we also look at what gifts we're giving and then bring them back to ourselves so that we can fully honor that in each and every moment that these surprises come up? Because what I've learned really is when something is happening to our health and well-being, it is our resilience of how we overcome that in our force of chi that's here to move us forward. And again, there's no judgment of how quick or how short, but sometimes when we can step back and say, is there a resiliency for my own self to come forward and really allow myself to confront it and see what is being brought? Because to me, that's the biggest blessing of the divine that has so many layers from this day to weeks ahead of what was it that really, really touched your heart so that it could be shared with Honey's beautiful mother, with you beautiful hearts, with our collective, because we know one part is for our own
Right.
individual ascension. Another part is for our planetary ascension. And another part is really to say, wow, I got through that.
Yeah, I feel that a personal acknowledgement, just a little bit, is also very important.
Recognizing, right?
Recognizing it. I feel like, I feel from this coming Monday would be 3 weeks. It's been a kick-ass week. In the middle of 9 completion energy, the eclipse, the whole month of 9, and the incoming frequencies. Holy wow, what the sun
Wonderful.
codes have been in the middle. Then you throw in this, it's almost becoming comical that, like, it's almost like the incoming frequencies are a joke now, because every freaking day is like a gateway or portal. It doesn't even matter anymore, some of the major one, because it's all like, it's like blasting every single day. And then there's more stuff happening in its opposition. And I feel like somehow we've gotten like a little bit, not, how you say, well, strong. We've gotten a bit, we've built some muscles around this. So it's like, okay, so we don't get thrown about
Feels
so
like
much anymore.
That ride, the carnival, where they go tick, tick,
Oh,
tick,
yeah,
tick, tick, tick,
exactly.
tick, 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 tick. I've never been on it, but it's like they take you
No,
all the way up,
and they
all the way
drop
up,
you.
all the way up, all the way up, all the way up, all the way up, all the way up. And you know when they're going to drop you, and it's like, and you're like, ah.
But you
and
don't
you're
even
floating
do
up.
that anymore, right?
It's almost like what's coming in, and now it's really that gift of how can we hold our presence and our divinity that is here to take on each and every element, because the gift of it really is when we can step back and be and look at who we are and what we are. We're just this conduit that the divine's coming through us. So if we can step out of our own way and just allow our beautiful light, our beautiful love to naturally shine, then we're not doing the work anymore. They're doing the work. We just have to step out of our own limitations and our own programs and our own patterns, which is easier said than done, but it's giving that space and that presence just to be here and now and watch, witness, and observe, because there's so much happening before us that sometimes we just have to step back. And what I see every day is just be like, wow, look what's really happening. I mean, it's such a majestic realm with so much going on that the more we really can observe and witness it, the more we can see the beauty of what's happening, because there is so much beauty,
so much
love that
did you read my post 2 days ago about like how much beauty is happening simultaneously? It was actually yesterday in this, and with the amongst this, like, so we had Tuesday night meditation here for the Fall Equinox. Happened to fall on our 42nd. We had just a few people here. Lisa was there with us, and of course all of you that joined in from different parts of the world, and just the beauty that we get to sit with each other and embrace that. Wow, the love of the Creator with each other. Are you okay?
No, yeah, I was just crossing my legs.
Oh, okay.
No, because you know me, I get fidgety.
You get
I
fidgety.
can't sit long.
Do you want to? You can stand, sweetheart. Why don't you stand?
I'm just moving. Let me move.
Move.
I'm just sorry for
Is Holy
distracting all you
Spirit
guys.
coming in?
No, sometimes I just
Holy Spirit
I
coming in.
I like to just keep it fluid.
Yeah. So the beauty that we get to sit with each other and just be in each other's presence amongst us, and that's exactly what it is. There's this other energy that does not want us to sit in each other's presence, because when we are vibrating at a higher frequency and when we do join in physical presence with each other, we lift even higher. That's why there's this distance, or not each other, there's this fear consciousness, so that frequency of the octave of light that ascends even higher is not able to be practiced. But it's really not working anyway, because so many of us are able to see through it. We're still just utilizing that space to really be with each other, because we see, feel, sense, and experience the tremendous value of it. Like, really, the higher gift of just us, our I am presence, our higher self coming, meeting each other, and let's have some tea, like you all. Let's just have some tea and be with each other.
And-
So
and
beautiful.
shine that beauty of love. I feel that's the biggest gift out of anything that surprises us. Anytime that the carpet is pulled underneath us and it's like, holy cow, what just happened? And then there's this subtle energy when everything just starts to fall into its place, because we know that there's no accidents. Everything happens for a reason. There is a divine plan. And no matter how crazy, chaotic, strange, weird, wacky, and wild it may be, there is this divine energy that moves through. And obviously, we are flowing through it the best we can. In this circumstance, it's so amazing to watch the beauty of love between family members, the beauty of what we can do and how we work together, the love that we are here to just.
But that is truly the Christed
Yeah.
being, isn't it? Isn't this thing we talk about, the coming of Christ?
Right.
Isn't the Christ within us, that light, calling upon all of us to bring it forth? Like really bring it forth.
And it's such medicine to watch it in the most simplest ways of communication, in the ways that we interact, and even the shifts that we are requiring within our own selves of choosing what words we want to say, how we can soften or lighten in a manner to decrease any levels of stress, allowing the opportunity just to magnificently, magically unfold and give that beauty of love in our day-to-day expression. And I find that it's been magical as this has been evolving, how much we're expanding in just allowing that love to vibrate at the highest level naturally. It's like it's coming through us naturally without us even doing a thing, because we're radiating it, we're emanating. It's through the grace and the love of light of our heart that, to me, brings the biggest blessing of what's happened, and as it continues to let that be the fortifying unit to really gravitate to where we move next. And it's been beautiful.
Really grateful. And this month for us, starting this month with our new, it was so interesting. We had so many new things that we were launching, such as the Voice of the Sacred Divine Masculine that Michael started, and his first guest was Todd. So there's that energy pulling in. Monday we'll have Lavelle Zimmerman on this Monday. I'm so excited about that. Then we had our Sacred Divine Union Raw Real conversation. We had the first one, Robin and Ron, and the week after, which was just this past with Heather and Michael. And there's that energy of really supporting others who are getting ready to come into a union with their divine partner on a soul agreement that is either coming in or is been here now. It's really going to get strengthened. So to help support that, and it was so exciting to feel the magic in it. And also, of course, our in-person session with the combination session that Michael and I facilitate with his remarkable spiritual gifts and my gifts put together all in one session, on both on the treatment beds right here for a couple or two very close friends or family members, so they can all raise in the octave of light together. So we had all of these launching at the same time when this took place, at the same time where there's this major ascension hallway in 99 that's closed, that has to close, because we have to close all these doors that didn't serve us to welcome this, while going into the actual equinox, balancing these frequencies within. So then, let's say our union comes into more of its balance. So again, the multi-dimensional nature of it. And I feel like when I say this, the way my eyes burn from tiredness, it is a labor of love. I feel the labor of its love, and I'm grateful of it. And so many of you have also been navigating so many different planes on this,
and we're grateful.
And we all in it together. And I want to segment that, because as busy as we are going through this, but being able to stay in the center of it, and watch. I feel watch and observe. That was truly something that I experienced. That was part of my huge ascension initiation of the next octave I've lied, because I got to just observe and not get pulled in. I can really say this was truly the first time I was able to witness the level of rage that was around, that I could see, but I did not give my power to the rage at all. I was able to meet the encounters and really navigate through it with the higher light. And for that, I'm very grateful. And I want to ask you all, how have you been these last 3 weeks? How has the ascension frequencies, energies been for you? How have you been navigating? Truly, honestly, are you? Has there been anything major you also faced? One of the things that I found, every time I faced one of these, next thing I know, some of my closest ones, they said, "Oh my God, now I face it. Now I face it." So whenever I go through it, I verbalize it, and then it seems like there is there's that hidden seed. So then once they face it, they're able to navigate through it better. This has been years now.
And I really want to take the moment to thank each and every one of you that have reached out, the loving messages, the care, the blessings. It is such a gift when we know as a soul family that when these energies arise of just the small blessings, love, light, however it may be, small, large, big, it's such a gift when we receive all of the energies that are being brought forward to us.
Yeah.
And
So these are like youth checking in, Maida checking in. There's just so many.
all those that just have
Conchetta, you've
sent
been
their love and
beyond.
light. And I feel that gives us the permission to really open ourselves to know that we're all one divine soul family. And we all know that we're moving through things individually as well as collectively. And when we can really hold that in our highest grace of love with each other and share that, it's the biggest blessing. I feel that's something that
I want to speak of a blessing real quick.
What's that?
Okay, so I have one blessing in the middle of this. I mean, there've been so many, but this one was like such an incredible blessing. Just like whenever you go through any of these, then your team always somehow magically rewards you, but rewards you in the way that, it just like, it touches you to the core so much. So while you're writing how it's been for you, I'm going to share this with you. So this past weekend, Saturday, my younger son, Nevon, called me. He said, "Mommy, can I come over?" I said, "Of course," because Michael was at his mom's house. So he come over, and him and I have not had our individual time since the month plus month and a half we experienced all that we experienced. So he came over, I made dinner. We had 2 hours of such heart to heart, deep heart to heart. So he just wanted to share everything that was going on with him, with his girlfriend, what's happening and all of that. And then in the middle of this, he tells me, he's like, "Mommy, I was inspired by you, so I started a spiritual blog." I was like, "Oh, wow, nice. What's it about?"
Age 17.
He's 17. He's like, "Well, I wanted to talk about how masturbation and pornography are really bad for your chi energy, and it's really not good for you, and I want to help the other ones." I was like, "Oh, beautiful." So we had a chance to really talk about this. So let's just say 2 hours. We talked so in depth, and I was like, well, I felt like the universe just completely rewarded me by something. We sat down, watched a movie together, we laughed so much, and I was like, I felt like this sweet nectar had. I was like the inertia of the wine. I feel like I swallowed God's like honey. It was so beautiful moment. Then the next morning, my older son, who he works really late Saturday night, so he never calls me 8:30 in the morning. So he calls me 8:30 in the morning. He was going to his personal training work. He calls me. He's like, "Mommy, I just want you to know, like, I'm on top of the world right now." I said, "Wow." He's like, "I just want to call you and tell you how much I love you, how grateful I am in this moment of life." And I was like, wow, what a moment it is. How can I bottle this moment? I just want to bottle this moment. I have no idea how long it will last, but this moment between my younger son and older son, and I felt like I was seeing like what we had faced with mom, what you and I had experienced, what all of these things. Suddenly there's this moment, my higher team together with my sons, they're like, we're gonna reward you. We're gonna like literally tickle your heart. You're so deserving. Like there's no greater nectar we can give you than this. And that was my nectar. And my older son saying, you know, Mommy, life is really great right now. And I'm just grateful. And to hear that from my son, the level of gratitude that he could feel in life, it's like, what more do we want for our children? And I don't know if it will last. We'll come over a little bit today. I don't know if it's in that state, but it would just happen at this moment. And there are these precious, magical moments that we experience where we're literally breathing the essence of this nectar, and how incredible, how uplifting it is. So it gave me like this lifted, literally winged energy. And it was like what I had put into practice had just come right back to me. Yeah. And it's always this thing dynamic, like I'd shared with you, or the difficulty with my sons I go through, then the expansion. And it's quite remarkable. So I just wanted to share that with you all. And I share it because you've heard me go through the struggles and talk about it, and also what's on the other side of it when we are then asked to dive in even deeper. Aren't we just constantly diving deeper? And the more we dive in, the more we are able to clean the inner house of divine, this garment. The garment is getting more purified, more clean. And then at some point we start actually not getting upset anymore how much we got to do it. We get joyful to let's clean the garment again. Because the God is coming in even stronger. God is the housing it. My goodness, my holy God itself is literally like coming into this holiness, right? That's why we've been purifying the body, cleaning the vibration, the energy, because we are literally bringing the heavenly realm on earth into our earth. So that's why these chakras are being aligned by what we're experiencing. We start seeing the divine perfection of it. And then we don't question why we're facing what we're facing, because we're out of that victim consciousness. If anything is shifted, like the gratitude of, wow, okay, bring it on, you know?
And what was so perfect in that moment is you had, after that week of your cup, being, a lot of energy being moved, how amazing that you were being filled up with both of your two sons that shared such an empowering, loving moment. And it was like, wow, it was filled up so high. And then the very next day in the morning, the one person that probably needed as much of that love surprises you.
My mother, the first thing, so I come to relax in this place. The first thing I see my mom come through the door, I'm like, what? I just needed a break.
Her mom comes
so then,
in the
boom,
next day.
blast out of this. So the divine perfection.
It's great because, like, I was at my mom's house and I told Honey, I think I'm going to stay another day because it really.
Michael didn't want to come. Michael needed his break. You're like, I need a break. I need 2 days of break.
It wasn't just a break.
You surprised me. You're like, I'm not coming. I'm like, okay.
It wasn't that I'm not coming. It was because what happened with your mother, it just brought a greater revelation to me is with my mom of like, wow, look how fragile that is. I see her once, a week, but sometimes that once a week is we're eating, then we're watching something, or just that together time of like not rushing it through. So, I went, Honey, it was the Jewish New Year's, Rosh Hashanah, and so Honey's like, go up to see your mother.
I was like, Michael,
I'll go the next day. I'll
mom.
go the next day. But it was like a time where I felt like one day was nice, but maybe a second day. So I called on Sunday to tell Honey I'm staying. And she said, well, my mom just came over, and it was beautiful because in that time I was just finishing my morning prayer. I was out my porch just feeling the decadence of the sun, and I could see Honey just being triggered by her mom a little more of what just happened. But all that love that she received from her children was being blasted. And I felt like it was the most perfect timing, because not only was her mother and Honey together, but my mother and I were together because we did a FaceTime, and we were able to share as a team of light of all the beautiful insights, all the great awareness, and all of our divinity of what we chose just to give to Fairy June in that moment, while supporting Honey, but at the same time allowing I don't know how you would call it, the surprise of when Honey told me this, of her mother coming, out of notice, and then arriving, and I could see the flustering of Honey's.
No, but I just, it was my day to have to myself, and then I didn't, which was perfect. But in the middle of this, I want to share with you guys too, my closest aunt that I'm close to, her father died also during this. Two of my other friends, their mothers died within the same week. So it like there was so much going on, and also going to go hold a space for my aunt and their family to bring awareness to their father that has crossed over. And it was a kick-ass week. But we're on the other side of it. Let's read. Michael, hold on. Let's read how's everybody, because I feel we just like rambled on today. Sorry, we were excited to be with you.
For those that are watching right now, we asked how everyone's doing, what's happening. I mean, most of the comments have been based on what we've spoken about. Thank you, Beverly. You look like two beautiful flames, such good role models for the.
We are the diamond ray.
For the rest,
the twin diamond ray. Thank you.
Thanks so much for. Thanks so much for being present for us during these times.
Don't get all excited over the diamond twin ray, Michael.
Higher Heart says, yes, holding and lifting the fields in grace. Thank you, Higher Heart. Lisa, yes, the power of prayer. We often forget that in our face of crisis. Congratulations. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you, Lisa.
Go Honey's mom. Look at her. Look how much.
Lisa, I'm going to tell you on the phone, you would have a field that how she pulled out the Democrat, Republican card in the hospital. Lisa, I have so much to tell you later.
From my own experience, standing into your heart-centered consciousness and emanate, literally catalyze the vibrational fields with beautiful Higher Heart. Thank you. Lisa, this has been my big lesson, not giving my power away to authorities. I'm doing it too, as we all are learning to do that. Thank you, Lisa. Higher Heart, and weaved by higher octaves of light, bringing in and anchoring divine will.
Yes,
exactly.
Yeah, that's when we spoke about that.
Higher Heart, your right, your freedom, your will is that of the divine. Stand, lift, and raise in the presence of the gracious divine that is you.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you. And embody the presence of gifts and comes to share the love, the treasures, and the joys of the heart.
Yep.
Magnificent.
Sure.
Thank you, sweet Higher Heart. It feels so good to be together. Yes. Absolutely, Lisa. Always. Seeing the perfection, everything, and in times it can be tricky.
Yeah.
Of course, it is easier when it's behind us. That's when we can really just take a deep breath and be like, wow. Higher Heart, loving patience. I feel that has been one of our biggest gifts, Higher Heart, the patience of what we have to move through and to bring the love through that patience.
I want to just hold on 1 second. Higher Heart, darling. I wanted to just share this with you. Many of us, as a soul inception, incarnate on this plane, there is a specific art that we are agreed to materialize on this earth plane. And this art has to do with one of the rays of light. And it is the art of patience. If you're assigned to it, you're going to be, so say you decided, I'm going to handle the art of patience through the ray of light on earth. You agreed to that service. So your life is going to be set up in a way where you are going to be constantly put into various situations so you can bring that specific ray of light, that art, into its material presentation. So before, I would say, unfortunately, I was also assigned to that. Now I'm in a better place. I humbly accept it. I used to be pissed off of this freaking art that I was assigned to, because I didn't want it. Like, I'm done. I don't want to be.
You're good at. I mean, you go beyond
I
your normal
am
speed.
done with this art of patience. But I keep getting, hey, no, I'm evolved now. I am evolved now. So the art of patience, I have, in humility, come to accept it, breathe it, embrace it, not fight it anymore. I finished it. Did I tell you all? I finished the fight, finished 9-9, finished. I finished fight. So he's so happy. So Inshallah, Bismillah Rahman Rahim. He's so happy about that. So the art of patience. So let's say if you agree to the art of understanding, one of the powerful, it really should be not under inner standing or heart standing, overstanding. It is one of the qualities of, again, the pink golden ray of the Christ cosmic light. So you are, again, going to be constantly put in this position. So you are the one who has to be more heart standing, more, and you're going to be freaking frustrated as flowers until you're like, okay, it's the art that I am implanting into this claim. So, okay, go ahead, Mike.
So Lisa said a spiritual blog and talk about sexual issues. Amazing. Yes, that's a phenomenal.
Would you believe it? I love it.
Thank you. Yes, feeling this with my divine partner, and this feels so closely. Beautiful.
Nice.
Hi there, Angela.
Hi, Angela.
Good to catch. Thank you for
Nice
catching the replay. We're good to hear you. Hi, heart has truly been an awakening of deeper dimension within the here, anchoring the consciousness of the heart as its absolute to the mind. Yes. Recognizing that all creation, all energies, all forms of conception are sacred, loving, and heart. The lesson for me was to transmute and share the gifts of the heart.
Bless you.
Beautiful blessings. As a consciousness and grace, glory of the heart, specifically higher heart, is of another world.
And totally, completely. It is a different dimension.
Yeah, and that is why you are the higher heart.
You're the higher heart.
Because you're emanating that grace and that beauty right
diamond.
there. L'Oreal, he has opened his heart and meditating in ascension flames
together. Oh, nice. That's wonderful, L'Oreal. That's so good to hear.
Higher heart, honoring the multidimensional facet octave the heart is. It's truly a deep, majestic, gracious field. To that. Daily, momentarily, I'm a student of the heart mastery. It's remarkable. And you know,
delicious.
You know what I've really learned? When the situations that come, I feel that my higher self is now pivotally saying mastery. Like when something happens and it's like such the trigger or an element where I feel something arising in some of the thickest, densest areas, it's like I feel my higher self say, this is the mastery of your heart. This is the mastery of what we're going through. And it's been such a level of that. Lisa, I'm finding so much expansion and growth these past 3 weeks, doing many activations and soul family meditations. I feel joy and bliss, staying out of frustration as much as possible. Lisa, one thing that I've also really recognized is, when the emotion of frustration or anger, it's interesting also to look at being grateful for it in that moment. I know it takes layers of going through it, but it's like almost like when you see that anger, that frustration, and we can just give the opportunity to stop and say thank you, because the universe is bringing it forward for another level of acceptance, for us not to resist it. And obviously there's many layers to it, surrendering it, allowing it, forgiving it, giving it love, however it is. But sometimes what I've learned personally this past week is when these emotions have come through, I go out into nature and I'm like, okay, frustration, thank you. I appreciate frustration. I may not be seeing the lesson right now, but I really want to give this opportunity to say, universe, you're sending me an opportunity to transform frustration. Frustration wants to be felt. It wants to be acknowledged. Now it's time to give that acceptance to frustration. So sometimes that avoidance of it is in a level where we're not just suppressing it. Not saying that you're doing that, but as an idea of when these lower dense emotions that come forward, sometimes it's our nature to just push them to the side. And when we can just embrace them and really bring as much gratitude and thanks to them, that helps ease the path. L'Oreal,
Laurelie. She taught me how to pronounce it properly.
Okay.
Laurelie.
And here we are present and together. Yes, we are. Lisa, how do we know what we've committed to? Not patience for me, but maybe compassion. How do we know?
Okay. Lisa, your life is the one that pisses you off the most, that you constantly come in like, why I gotta be put in this position? That's the one.
Yeah. And it's almost like, and if you can magically look at the patterns of life.
So for me, it's always been like, why I have to be the bigger one? I don't want to be the bigger one anymore. No, I don't want it. And then
part of it is,
and it's
your higher self,
because I have to be. It's the compassion.
And your higher self has said, you've trained so many years and lifetimes to get to this point. Is it worth it to say, F that, I'm not going to do it?
You have no choice. You can't even choose. You might say it in that moment,
right,
but you have no choice. So, you agreed to deliver it.
Exactly. And imagine that point has come to its fullest fruition so that you at this moment can say, okay, I have the power, I have the will, I have the divinity right now to go through it. And
so it's like the art of beauty. Yeah. There's one who's constantly put in a position, the ugliest of the ugliest, and it has to bring the beauty. So there's quite a bit of
and
this.
At the end of the day, Lisa, we, all of us light workers, are being brought forth to bring the highest divinity of compassion to every single thing that we see. Not even a judgment anymore. It's pure compassion. And that is what we're raising in our frequency and vibration. So I wouldn't say maybe compassion. I would say sí, señorita, compassion. Lori Lee, and we continue and we show up and we are inevitable.
Exactly. Love your emojis. Thank you for the emoji blast.
Beverly, energy so intense last night that I danced till 11 p.m. alone. You know what? I'm going to start dancing when honey starts rolling in the bed. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stand up in the bed. And I'm just going to start dancing. And maybe when the dance comes, that will help release it. But was not able to sleep. Delve down to fear, sorrow tomorrow. Memorial service for my mom who passed 3 years ago. I understand when these powerful moments come through, it's more clearing. So all of our love and blessings for that.
Yeah.
Lori Lee, my partner has been watching the Raw and Real with me. It's so good, uplift and be with each other in the connection.
Oh, wonderful.
Oh, that's beautiful. We absolutely love it because it gives the permission for us to speak to others in a way that's fun, that's joyful. And what we really recognize that it brings so much loving connection because it allows us to kind of let go and just say, okay, really.
We want to get to look. We already know the couples, they are blasted with their level of work on this plane. But we want to get to know them individually and together, get to know that dynamic,
and just to listen to how others navigate, how they move. Because
so thank you, so exciting.
It's great.
We've been getting a lot of positive feedback.
It's been fun, that. Even though after each episode, somehow the universe is like, oh, we're going to bring all this light up now. Bam! Watch what's going to happen next.
Continues to get blasted by something, but afterwards, next one in October. So listen, October 12th, Columbus Day, we have Kalina and William. Mm-hmm. Holy shizzle!
So we'll put some positive.
It's going to be good, but at least it's after 10:10. Thank God, I positioned that on purpose because we are getting ready for 10:10.
Yes, but as much as these energies have intensified, as much of what we're moving through in the collective. Everything that's out there in the headlines, everything that's moving through us, I'm just grateful.
Oh, well, I do want to talk about that. Okay, Ascension. You say that because there's something very important about that headline.
So hold that headline. Is that, as you guys all know, no matter what is moving through, I've found it such imperative importance for each of us to really get out into nature, to really focus on the reality that is true. that is real and that is before us. I know, Lisa, you're out there constantly. And what Honey I've done, I feel through this whole element that we're moving through is nature has been our best friend. And we all know this, but it's just to bring that reminder that no matter what happens, even yesterday, I was tired, I was exhausted. I went for a 2-mile hike into the woods. I just talked to the trees, I looked at the squirrels, and there's that nature of connecting to Mother Earth and feeling Gaia's support for you. And when we give ourselves a chance to let go of our mind, let go of what's happening, and just dive directly into the fullness of what Earth gives us, I feel like it's a complete refill of everything that we need. And we come back and we're like, wow, why aren't we doing this every day? Because we can be stuck inside. We can be committed to our social media, our technological devices. Yet when we give that special time to really feel the energy and the magic of Mother Earth, I feel it's so important that we become daily in our vigilance of moving out into her and feeling these rays. Because for me, these past 6 months, I've just been sitting under the sun and just feeling the blast of energy moving through us. And it's just been building within me that's helped me navigate through all the densities. So I know you guys already know that, but it's just a nice reminder of like, get out in the nature, sit under a tree, go sit in water, however you can do to ground yourself. And even Beverly, moving through some of this sadness, give yourself the permission. I was walking through the trees yesterday. I said, hi, trees, hi, wisdom makers. I'm giving you all the areas that are coming up within me so that I can allow you to absorb it and to feel it. And sometimes we are so selfish because we want to do it ourselves. So this is my problem. But when we can say trees, clouds, ducks, geese, whoever it may be, thank you for lifting this. Thank you for shining this light upon me, because it's within our Mother Earth that constantly brings us back to our alignment. So just want to remind that, because it's been my medicine. And a lot of times I got to pull this one out to be like, honey, let's get outside. Let's get outside, because I know she's very diligent of moving through. But regarding headlines and Ascension, I don't want you to.
So I wanted to thank you, my love. And nature, we are nature, right? This is a divine nature. It's not a man-made thing. It is, well, it is. But we do have this earth. So when we are able to, when we are like in this ecstatic realm and our consciousness there, so we feel like trapped. When we do go in nature, we come back in here and we're able to bring it in and ground it, and it releases out of us. So that's why it's so important. The other thing that I wanted to share with you guys, so last week my friend called me. She was very, very upset about this person who died, who was the, again, I don't know the exact names, but it has to do with the Senate? Supreme Court. Okay, Supreme Court. So I'm not going to get into names because I was dealing with other things, but I wanted to say, so she called me, she's so distraught, So we came, sit down and talked. And so then I have this other friend, oh my God, this is the most exciting news. This, this woman, finally, she was moved out. So then there's this complete opposition. Complete opposition. Two of them are my really, really great friends. So my role is to just bring both of them to God. So I love the position I'm in, because I get to hear this side and I get to hear this side. I get to hear both constantly. And I'm just called be right here. So it was so beautiful. But one of the things that I feel that I wanted to share with you all, and that I also shared with my mom, and no matter what takes place over these next few weeks, up until in the US, the actual election, one of the biggest gifts, ascension gifts that is in front of us, whether you're in favor of Trump or whether you're in favor of Biden, it doesn't matter. Where are you in your ascension plane in which, let's say, the opposite of the one you're in favor of gets elected? Where are you in ascension in being completely in a surrendered divine space, in your breath, and in your trust. This is a huge part that's coming up. I see so many of our lightworker friends so hardcore one way or the other way, whatever that is, whereas there's this plane right here that is being asked, the plane of trust, the plane of truth, the plane of
Acceptance.
full, like really faith is here to be come in. Can you completely in the state of just trust, no matter who takes the office? Can you be okay with that and trust the divine plan no matter what? And I feel this was the thing that was really brought to communicate, and I feel is very important because if we are part of the divine plan, our trust in embodying the divine plan in us is such a key. No matter what happens, are we able to radiate our love, breathe in the joy, breathe in the celebration of the divine, that the ascension flame of light is here to do its work through us? And I'm not pulled by this or this or this or this or this. So I feel this is such a huge part. The other part of it is when we voice our voice. And can you be okay that, let's say, some of your friends suddenly think you are supporting one of the political party, or the other one thinks you're voicing something, you're supporting the other political party? Are you okay with your truth of where you stand in your divine flame and your higher calling to just, for example, bring in that art in? You see, so what the next few weeks is going to play out is huge. And I would actually invite you all to choose to see both and see if you can stay in the center of it, the higher center, the higher heart center, and see, is there an area that you're getting so flustered and bothered? That's the gift that has to transcend within you, or the other part. Because I feel it's very, very important what is getting ready to play out that we've been preparing for as we wrap up this month of September. We're going to 1010. We're going to the hallway of 1010, 1-1. You are united with that oneness energy. You've complete, it's a restart as we go in. And it's so important to stay in the divine center sovereign being. And if you are very, 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 very strongly, for example, it's fine whatever your belief systems are, but the attachment is the one here that if it's throwing you off, that is the gift for you to evaluate a little bit in this now, because chances are you will get very thrown around by this. So that was a conversation I had with mom. I said, Mama, can you be okay with whoever becomes the president? I had to really work on that. Yeah. And I got her to a point. She's like, yes, can you trust God in this? Higher, breathe in it. So and that really released her. So I wanted to just share that, and that's a huge blessing, huge blessing, that if we have the capability to stand in that, we really are going to be able to open that pathway for others.
Hold on, it's only going to get more exciting.
It is going to be freaking exciting shizzle.
So today, I would like to read our powerful angelic message of the day.
Yes.
So what I'd like all of you guys to do, dear beautiful hearts, is to place your hands over your heart and take a nice deep breath in. A nice deep breath out. Let's go ahead and just take 2 more deep breaths in. One last deep breath in. Deep breath out. And listening to today's divine message, know that you live in an abundant universe. The universe pulsates with giving energy in its ever-expanding growth. It sends endless amounts of love, which is the essence of every desirable experience. Anything that you wish for is fueled by this force. Fear and worry close you off from experiencing the love and abundance of the universe, just as a kink in a hose slows the flow of water. Today, open yourself up to bathing in this steady stream of divine love and supply, relaxing with the sure knowledge that all your needs are provided for. Remind yourself that you live in an abundant universe. Look for examples of this and be open to receiving the gifts that come to you. The more you rest in the certainty of this bounty, the more it will flow steadily through your life. The thought for today, repeating after me. I live in a plentiful universe.
I live in a plentiful universe.
Where all my needs are taken care of.
Where all my needs are taken care of.
I accept good graciously.
I accept good graciously.
And say yes.
I say yes.
To receiving abundantly.
To receiving abundantly.
And
yes.
So it is.
And so be it. And so it is. Oh, that was so good. I could really have felt all of that.
Abundance. That's for you, Lisa.
Divine,
I know that's
divine
for you,
is
Lisa.
Abundant.
That's yes for you and all of you.
Ascension,
Ascension
oracles. I say yes. Type in yes. I say yes. Let's see what the Ascension Oracle. Did you see? Every time the angels come, I just start tearing. It's not crying. It's just like yawning because they fill the room so much. I say yes. So the Ascension Oracles. Let's see what message they have for our group today. The Cosmic Heart. Hi, Heart. Look at that. The Cosmic Christ Heart. Exactly. It's the pink golden ray of light. It radiates from the center of your diamond radiance. This card, and it is number 9, of course. Completion. This card invites you to open your heart fully and tune into the loving radiance from Venus, which is the heart center of this universe, of course. Pure unconditional love is held within Venus at a 9th dimensional frequency. 9 again. A higher frequency than we can currently access. The angels are suggesting you to find time today to call on Mother Mary or the unicorns. With their help, you can step down this powerful but gentle love to a level you can handle and bring into your heart center. Breathe in love from the cosmic heart and radiate it outward to everyone today. Affirmation: I am the cosmic heart.
I am the cosmic
I
heart.
am the cosmic heart.
I am the cosmic
I
heart.
am the cosmic heart.
I am the
I am the cosmic heart. 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 I am the cosmic heart.
I am the cosmic heart.
I am the cosmic heart.
We are the cosmic heart.
We are the cosmic hearts. So good. Delicious, delicious one today.
We are blessed and thankful for all of you, dear beloved hearts, for what's coming up. For those on Monday, 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
This Monday,
1:30. I'm so delighted to be featuring my second guest for the voice of the sacred masculine, Lavelle Zimmerlin, a dear, beautiful, blessed man that speaks
Galactic being.
so much from his heart, will be with me at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. It will be live streamed on our Ascension Alchemist page. Please join. Please share. If you can't make it, the replay will be available.
Yep.
So we are definitely so excited for that. I am just blessed to finally, ignite this as it's our second guest, and looking forward to
And
that this
before
Monday.
that, this coming Saturday, we had to switch our event, collectively shifting into the divine love.
Collectively shifting into divine light.
Divine light, boy. It's been a long way. So it was supposed to be tomorrow at Rising Phoenix, and we're so grateful to Jacqueline that was flexible, fully heart standing. We shifted in October 17th.
Or the 19th. It's Hope's birthday.
It's Hope's birthday,
sorry,
whichever
Lisa,
day that
you won't
is.
be there, but you'll be there in spirit. But,
so it is that day. It is live stream, and it is only going to be just a few people coming in person as well.
October 17th.
October 17th. Thank you. I thought it was the 17th. Yeah. So that's that day, which we're very, very grateful for. Michael and I will not be doing anything live on 10/10. That will be also like 9/9. That's going to be our time together.
2020.
Yeah, like that. That's going to be our own time together. Licia! Oh, there's our beautiful Licia. Aloha. So we will be, we won't be doing that, but we do have the next Tuesdays again. Please do join. Please invite others. Join us at that Unity Global Meditation. And we are going to have, in October 12th, we'll have, it's so exciting because we're going to have 2 Sacred Divine Union interview. One is October 12th with Kalina and William. Mm-hmm. I mean, they are totally all about Yeshua Magdalene codes. That's going to be incredible on our Sacred Divine Union Raw and Real. And at the end of the month, the 28th of October, we'll be having Anya and Pete Wilson. I'm so excited about that. She is a very powerful and close Magdalene sister. They do live in south of France, and I can't wait for both of this interactions. It's going to be so incredible coming up. So love you all. Thank you so much for joining.
Blessed weekend. The sun is shining out. It just broke through the clouds, and we want to send all of our love and light for joining us on this very special Friday.
And please, everybody, our sacred Licia is on. She has the Dragons of Light Facebook page. It's incredible, these dragons that she's creating. They're organized, crystals in them, custom made, and also her paintings. Please check her out. Just such an honor. And this coming Wednesday, do you know I'm having Gia as my next alchemy short video series guest? This coming Wednesday at 12. So those are what's coming up. Love you all. It was so much fun being with you today. May God's grace carry you all the way today and every single day. May the light of illumination blast through you in all wondrous ways. And may you be lifted completely in your own ascension flame, so you can fully walk this beautiful earth with ease, peace, and grace, and blast the light everywhere that needs.
Hallelujah.
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 Love you all. If the video resonated with you, it will be on our Facebook page. Please share it. And the biggest help, please like this YouTube video when you like it, and just make a comment. Thank you. That's going to help us actually the video be in the algorithm. Otherwise, without it, we can't even, like, nothing. It goes like hidden. It's the funniest thing. So we're just learning about this. So we'll make it available on our Ascension.
Thank you for likes. Thank you for likes.
Likes. Love you all. Bye.